Really being taken care of on the ground, and I think the events of August 29th and 30th have really turned the tables as far as the tactical advantages on the ground are concerned. Nonetheless, I want to talk about the strategic advantages. The question is, how long can both sides keep this up? Clearly, the Chinese are also not interested in a long or a prolonged and a protracted a battle, as it were, as Major General Asthana was pointing out. Clearly, the Indian side, even the defense minister today, making it absolutely clear, we will not bow our heads, neither do we want any other party to bow their heads, clearly indicating that we're not interested in any kind of protracted battle. When does this end in terms of strategic intent of both the parties being achieved, as it were?
Well, Zaka, the Global Times is already, sending the mixed signals. They are talking about ending the conflict before winter. That's one of their editorials today. And I think it is a battle of wills and of staying power at highly forbidding heights. And I think it's also a matter of national prestige and ego now, especially for Xi Jinping, because Newsweek had written a very important article recently by Gordon Chang, saying that, Xi Jinping is very angry at the failure of the PLA at the LAC. And heads are going to roll. Unlike Indian Army, PLA is a very politicized army.
Yes.
It's completely controlled by the Communist Party, and often there are purges on the basis of loyalty to the big man at the top. So these kind of things, I think, will mean that they are not really prepared for conflict. They know it is just a kind of a grandstanding and posturing that they're doing in order to also communicate that China is a great power, and that their prestige as a great power is at stake. Great powers don't, step back when they're challenged by middle powers. You see, that is the kind of logic that they're bringing to this in terms of international opinion. On the talks, Zaka, talks and defeat, you're right. This is like a two sides of the, coin. And the reason is also because there's an international audience, The whole world is watching, Western media, Western governments, India's partners, and also neighbors in the region who have disputes with China. Everybody is watching this, eyeball to eyeball, this flashpoint in the Himalayas. So I think both sides want to show the world that, look, we are interested in a peaceful resolution. Even Rajnath Singh's statement was saying the same. After showing firm resolve, and the Chinese are also saying the same, we are prepared for war, but we want peace. We are saying the same thing. So I think there is that dichotomy you will see. And some of it also has to do with domestic politics in China. There are some factions that are upset with the way things have gone in the last 6 months. Xi Jinping himself will not take the blame. He did not take the blame for coronavirus, even though it was his system that bungled the whole matter and caused the global threat. So I think there's going to be some kind of a rethinking on the Chinese side. Indian side, I think, although we are a raucous democracy and there are all kinds of allegations being flung at the government, at the end of the day, I find, ironically, that as a democracy, we are more united behind our troops and more transparent. Look at the access that your reporters are getting all the way up to the LAC.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to go right to that. I want to thank, in the meanwhile, Ambassador Dogra, Professor Chaulia, as well as Major General Asthana, because we've got this report.